Hey, it's Sandy, and I recently read this study. Well, I didn't read the study. I read the article. It was from Harvard University that said it's really, really good to mix up your workout routines. So, like if you've been running or walking or lifting weights, find something else to do, and you're going to live longer. Well, I'm glad I found it, and I'm glad that I found Pure Yoga. Go to pureyogatexas.com. They offer a bunch of different classes, and here's some of the ones that I have taken. I've taken the Inferno Hot Pilates class, which is great. I mean, you want to get a great workout, sweat a whole lot, and believe it or not, feel great when you leave. Sign up for that class. Maybe it's a Super 60 yoga class or a hot yoga class or any of their other classes that they offer at Pure Yoga. You're going to love this place. 2 locations, one north on Burnett Road, just off of 183, and another one downtown between 5th and 6th on Oakland. Get more information at pureyogatexas.com. Switch your workout routine up a little bit and go to pureyogatexas.com.
This is the JB and Sandy Show on Austin's 80 station, 103.1.
Tricia's like a dog with a bone. When she gets on a mission, she just won't stop until the mission is accomplished. And that is to get our guest on the radio with us. His name is Avery Tomasco. You know him from CBS Austin. But Tricia, tell everybody, one, how you found out about Avery and how the process of getting him to where he is right now.
Okay, so of course, like everybody else in Austin, I was glued to our local weather updates, right? I'm on social media, scrolling around. I see the first post of yours that I see, Avery, you are walking through an HEB. You're walking down the bread aisle, and it's cleared. The toilet paper aisle cleared, and the water aisle cleared. And you said, I hope you all have fun in your toilet paper forts of shame. Leave HEB alone. And I was like, what?
That's funny.
Yeah, that's the one that wrote me in, so that I immediately followed you. The other ones were funny too. And then there was one that I think a man was like, aren't we supposed to have some precipitation in a storm next week? Do you have any information? And you said, here's why I don't have any information. I'm tired, boss. I'm working on this one right now. But I love it that you're very, don't tiptoe around the listeners. You're like, slow down, people.
There's so much to manage in events like this, so many questions to answer, and then there's so much other hyperbole that I have to try to squash down, and I try to do it all with humor, and I think that's the medicine that makes it all go down a little easier, especially in really chaotic winter storms that we get once every year or two. So I had as much fun with it as I could, but man, was that a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot.
I was not familiar with you yet. I don't know. How long have you been on the air? It seems like disaster seems to follow me. My first time on on CBS Austin was August 25th, 2017. And for those that remember, that was the day that Hurricane Harvey was making landfall.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we got a big flood out of that locally, and then there's been 5 or 6 different natural disasters ever since. So I've been at the helm for most of those. I've been on the morning show for CBS Austin since 2021. So going into year 5 of that soon.
Yeah, I just with the storm, we were all glued to the TV, and I have a question about that too. And I was watching you. I guess it was just a couple days ago, and you just did this funny little out cue at the end, and tossed it to commercials, and it was just quirky. I don't even remember what you said in particular. You just kind of went up on your tippy toes and said something, and then it cut. And I literally said to my wife, "Hey, come here, you got to see this guy." I said that to my wife, and I backed it up. I go, "Watch this little odd out cue."
I have nothing to say about that because most of the time, especially in winter storm coverage, I just kind of black out on air. I let my natural instincts take over. So I have no idea what you're referring to, but it sounds right.
It got my attention.
That's the overall end goal, is to hit a little funny bone with someone that makes them perk up and pay attention to whether or not this storm is going to kill them this week or not.
Okay, my question for you, Avery, about when we have storms like this, and you grew up in Austin. It's all consuming, and we can't handle it, and we shut down, and we panic, and all these things are bad. The rest of the country laughs at us. I don't care. But my question for you is, and there must be some obligations for your local station, for CBS, of what to air throughout the day. Because I was watching it and I said to my wife, I go, why don't they just keep this guy on all day? Because this is all anyone cares about.
Yes.
But I guess you have to cut to your regular programming because some people lose their minds. What's the deal with that? Because I wanted
a lot of it is way above my pay grade. I know that there's obligations we have to the CBS network. We're just an affiliate of them. So our agreement with them is that we run some of their stuff in dire situations, like a tornado's on the ground and it's chewing through some part of our viewing area. Then none of that matters. We're going to be on air until that threat ends. But for a situation like a winter storm, where it's a little more of a slow boil of an event, where we've been messaging this thing for a full week at this point. We hope and we've done our job of making sure people know what's coming and how to stay safe. It's kind of a different situation where we kind of have to thread the needle between different programs, different advertisement sources, because at the end of the day, we need to make money and pay the bills. So there's a lot of opportunity to just run that crawl on top of the screen. Hopefully people are seeing it and paying attention. A lot of the time we're just trying to go on social media to make sure that everyone's getting the message, because that's where most people are these days, a lot more than broadcast TV. I'm not saying it's dead or dying, but
the lines are blurred. Yeah, we go back and forth.
Yeah, so the broadcast landscape is shifting. In situations like this, I would love to be on TV nonstop, because that's my bread and butter. I love it. I love talking about especially chaotic winter storms like this, because there's so much fascinating science going on. But at the end of the day, we got to kind of thread the needle through a lot of different circumstances and networks and all that jazz.
Meteorologist Avery Tomasco from CBS Austin is our guest this morning. He's been a very busy man along with his team at CBS Austin, and doing a great job, by the way, of keeping people informed. Let's get a little backstory about you, Avery. I know that you born in Houston, moved here as a child. For all intents and purposes, you're a lifelong Austinite. Went to Hill Country Middle, then went to Westlake High School.
Yeah, sure did. You missed Eanes Elementary Mustangs. Go Mustangs.
Oh,
go. Yeah. I'll actually be talking to them, doing a little school talk with some kindergartners in a couple days. So
that was my question. Because the biggest deal in the world when we were in elementary school was when the weather person from the TV station came and talked to us. Do you guys still do that?
Of course. It's a little harder in my circumstance now that I've got 2 kids at home. So my opportunities to go out are a little bit fewer and farther between. But yeah, anytime I can fit that into a day, I will go do it. I've been to schools and different classes all over the place, mostly kids, sometimes adults as well. There's some gardening clubs. The master naturalist groups, they love to hear their weather. And yeah, I love talking to the kids because it's so much more fascinating when you're a kid than arguably than when you're an adult. I do some experiments. I try to get them all involved because the atmosphere is fascinating. It affects everyone. To know what's going on, to make those effects happen to everyone's day-to-day life, it's awesome, especially for a kid. My favorite thing is I bring a leaf blower. I call it my wind machine. And I get them to hold up an anemometer, and I get them to feel different speeds of the winds. And I usually pick a kid with the craziest hair to make sure it's as dramatic as possible. Safety glasses, of course, safety first, but they get a kick out of that.
They go nuts.
Yeah, I guess
that's more clever. We shoved a leaf blower in our producer's mouth to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Sandy?
Yeah.
Did y'all really do that?
I remember that. One pebble would have killed him.
Safety glasses, guys.
Hey, I got to ask you something, Avery, because there's been a social media trend, because this has been almost a nationwide storm. And the trend the last couple of days is people going up, and it's been very icy snow. I mean, it's more ice than it is snow. And they're going inside and making it into a ball and lighting it with a lighter.
Oh, yeah.
And saying that it won't melt and it smells like burnt plastic.
Burning snow.
They're making the claim that it's basically microplastics falling from the sky. Have you seen this?
So This rings a bell from like maybe a few years ago, or maybe like the 2021 winter storm. I'm surprised it's already making the rounds again. There's no, I think it's just clickbait weirdness. There's so much going on surrounding every single winter storm, and that's almost like 50% of my job now is just debunking the junk that is out there on social media.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
If you're trying to light a snowball on fire, it's not going to melt because it scientifically, if you have ice, it takes there's a lot of energy required for the phase change from ice to liquid. So if you're just putting a flame to it for a second, you're getting it closer to that phase change, but it's not going to melt immediately like you would if you put it on top of like a hot iron skillet, you know? As for it smelling weird, I don't know. Clean up your yard before the next snowstorm. That's my recommendation. But
y'all,
it means you're disgusting.
Smart.
It just, there's so much stuff. There's so many ways now that people try to get the clicks because what's changed a lot in the last 5 years, especially probably since the 2021 winter storm, is that there's a lot of for-profit clickbait going on. Including some of the weird lighting snowballs on fire or trying to, but mostly ahead of storms, just people cherry picking data 2 weeks in advance and saying, oh, look at all this snow that's going to fall in central Texas. Lock it in, raid the store shelves, and then I get messages about it, and I have to go out and say, "Stop! Be smart about this. We're struggling to figure out this forecast 3 days in advance. Do you think some Uncle Jim Bob's weather page from Florida is going to know what's going to happen in 2 weeks? It doesn't. Right. It doesn't make sense. So that's a lot of what I've known.
Okay, this is interesting because another experience I had with this storm, so that we didn't have in 2021, is now AI is a thing. Big time. And the one that kept getting, and it made me go back to my television to go, like, you want to go to humans that you trust, right? Because the other thing is people were using Sora or whatever to generate these car pileups. And it's sometimes you just go, you watch it 2 or 3 times and you go, okay, that's fake. And now I feel insulted.
Like I was mentioning, that we're in the age of for-profit clickbait stuff on the internet. People get paid by how much they get likes and shares and interactions. Now is being made worse by the terrible timeline we live in, which is the proliferation of AI in all things. There's only one example I have that I've enjoyed the use of AI, and somebody in that video, Tricia, that you were referencing for me and HEB, someone had made an AI picture of me as a Tabasco sauce bottle. Because for those who don't know, and this is my claim to fame, Tabasco sauce is made on Avery Island, Louisiana.
Stop it.
No.
Yeah, my last name's Tomasco. So I would fool all the kids at camp when I was a kid that I was the heir to the fortune. But that's besides the point. So somebody made an AI version of me on a Tabasco sauce bottle, and it was called Avery's Don't Panic About the Cold Tomasco Sauce. So anyway, my wife saw that in the comments on my Facebook. She was like, I love this. So she got them turned into stickers. So I was going in HEB and leaving those Don't Panic About the Cold stickers on the empty store shelves. That's the only good example I have of AI. The rest of it's terrible. So, like, people are taking my content from Facebook and putting it through AI and then putting their own logo on it and then turning it into something else. It's terrible. Wow. The AI videos, like you were mentioning, JB, they're terrible because they make people think that something terrible is going on when it's really not.
Right.
Sometimes it's funny, but most of the time it's really muddying the message from us public-facing entities.
Avery Tomasco is our guest. Avery, can you hang with us for another break? We got to take a quick break and come right back. You got time?
Absolutely. I'll be here.
All right, stay with us. More with Avery Tomasco coming up on Austin's 80s station, 103.1. Avery Tomasco from CBS Austin is our guest. He's been a very, very busy guy, along with his team at CBS Austin, keeping everybody informed as this winter storm has come and is starting to leave, although we do have some cold weather. Overnight lows, still kind of cold. And if we're lucky, maybe Avery will give us a forecast in a sec. But I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you guys, every single day, do you got to make your own graphics for all that stuff on TV?
I can't speak for everyone, but it is my pride and joy to make everything that I put behind me on the green screen. It is one of my favorite parts because this face ain't a whole lot to look at. I am painfully aware that what is most interesting for people to be looking at when I'm on TV is what I am sharing about the weather. So I try to make that as jazzed up and fun and scientifically sound and interesting as possible. Yeah.
Other question I have for you is like, we know that like the news anchors have to be very serious and stiff, and they can't be partial or show much personality. On your side of the broadcast, is that encouraged to show some of your personality, be yourself, stick out a little bit?
If you ask my superiors, they've never told me like, hey, do something funny. It's innately what I think people want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time the weather's not hurting anybody. And so there's plenty of opportunity to be funny. And I never
jazz
it up. I never read a script.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I'm saying on TV is off the top of my head, and that alone, with my brain in particular, leads to some moments of chaotic levity. we'll call it. I'm always towing the line between maybe getting suspended, but mostly entertaining the people that are watching. I think that's the right place to be.
My last question, then.
Especially like when we have 100 days over with triple digits.
What else do I do? I gotta.
How am I going to
find a way
today?
to fill the 5 minutes every half hour that I have to talk? And if it's 110 every day, what else am I talking about other than I don't know, something stupid? The mosquitoes, probably.
Still
5
hot.
minutes can be a long time.
Yeah, in the summer, you betcha.
What is the if for a meteorologist that wants to report all kinds of different weather, what's like the holy grail market city to live in if you want to talk about it all in America?
Everyone's got an opinion. My opinion is right here.
Really?
Right here.
Really?
I mean, what have we seen in the last 5 years? Hurricanes, winter storms, tornadoes, biblical hailstorms. We had the microburst event in May 2025. Of course, the flooding in July of 2025. What do we not get here is my question. So this is kind of my holy grail. It just so happens to be where I lived and grew up and made so many relationships, and it's great to be back here just from that standpoint. But for a weather junkie such as myself, a weather weenie, if you will, as my professor in college used to call it, this is a great place to be. I love it. There's so much dynamics. There's so many dynamics. We have the whole fascination of the topography and the fact that we live right next to the hill country, and then you go downhill to Austin. That changes our weather so much. There's so much to explain. There's so much to make things a little more chaotic and challenging, but at the same time, so interesting. I love it right here. If you asked other people, I'd probably say, Oklahoma, big tornado capital of the world. The Deep South, also a big tornado place. But right here in Texas, we get tornadoes, winter storms, hurricanes, dust storms, locust swarms, you name it, we've got it.
Tricia, you got something for Avery?
No, I find it very interesting what you're talking about. I will reference another one of your videos that I thought was very funny. Were you actually out in the parking lot at like 1:30 in the morning when the sleet and stuff was good? Yeah, I feel like you were like, what am I going to do now? Let's go stand outside. But I loved it. You had that camouflage suit on and you were like, I'm going for invisible casual.
Yeah.
I mean, like you just have to find things to say, like you said, to fill up your time. I think that's hilarious.
Well, thank you. Yes, I absolutely actually do go out and observe the weather as much as possible. Going back to Sandy wanting some backstory, I don't think I ever gave you any. One of the things that got me into this wanting to be a weatherman in the first place was hunting with my dad, probably 10 years old, way back in the day. And we were sitting in the hunting blind. I don't think we saw anything that day, but at some point, it was cold winter months. It started sleeting, and I was so perplexed, as little 10-year-old Avery would be. Like, what? It's not hailing. This isn't a storm. Why are there little beads of ice falling into our deer blind here? My dad couldn't really explain it. So that's where I caught the bug. So especially winter weather, fascinating. It is one of my favorite things to forecast and diagnose. For two reasons. One, it's really meteorologically interesting. Two, we cannot handle it. the Texas loses its collective mind when a snowflake hits. So it gets everyone entertained. It gets everyone jazzed up and wanting to learn more. And then that's where I think I do my best work, is starting to explain some of the really complicated stuff that even in this last event took us from what was a freezing rain, probably of biblical proportions storm, worse than 2023, to a sleet storm that really didn't hurt us all that much, other than keeping us closed down on the roads for a couple of days.
Avery, are you a European model guy, or are you the other model guy?
We can go back and forth. The European, the Euro, if you will, generally better in almost all things, but hey, a rare victory for the GFS American computer model. It actually did a lot better and was probably the most accurate for this entire week, the weekend storm.
America.
Yay, America.
It's like 1 out of 100, but it's a victory.
Yeah. We'll take it.
Avery Tomasco has been our guest. Thanks for taking the time with us. JB, I'm sorry, do you have anything else for Avery?
No, but great job this week.
Yeah.
And it is funny. I have friends in other parts of the country, and it doesn't even take the ice. It's just the cold. Growing up here, if it's below freezing, we go ahead and shut it down.
Yeah.
if it's 32 and a drop of water hits I-35 upper deck, it's over. It's done. We're done.
Cars immediately start spinning out.
On the other hand, though, the Northeast can't handle 90-degree plus temperatures. So it's a two-way street.
Check out Avery every morning on CBS Austin. You've got early days like we do, and you're doing a great job. And tell your team thanks for their effort. I know it's a lot of hours you guys put in. Thank you.
A lot of hours, a lot of people. We're happy to do it. Thank you all for having me.
All right, stay with us. We've got more coming up. Hey, it's Sandy, and I recently read this study. Well, I didn't read the study. I read the article. It was from Harvard University that said it's really, really good to mix up your workout routines. Like if you've been running or walking or lifting weights, find something else to do, and you're going to live longer. Well, I'm glad I found it, and I'm glad that I found Pure Yoga. Go to pureyogatexas.com. They offer a bunch of different classes, and here's some of the ones that I have taken. I've taken the Inferno Hot Pilates class, which is great. I mean, you want to get a great workout, sweat a whole lot, and believe it or not, feel great when you leave. Sign up for that class. Maybe it's a Super 60 yoga class or a hot yoga class or any of their other classes that they offer at Pure Yoga. You're going to love this place. 2 locations, one north on Burnett Road, just off of 183, and another one downtown between 5th and 6th on Oakland. Get more information at pureyogatexas.com. Switch your workout routine up a little bit and go to pureyogatexas.com.
Well, that's it. Do us a solid and copy and paste the link to this episode and send it to a friend or two. Thanks for listening.